So now we're going to install one more gem. It is called public activity, and it will help us track each action that was ever taken in the application. So whenever somebody creates something, edits something, or deletes something, it is going to be saved in our application. So let's add this gem. Here's an example of how it can look. So gem public activity. We're going to our gem file, add in this gem, bundle. Okay, so in our models, we are going to include something like include public activity model. So we are going to our courses model. Let's find the courses. And we are going to add this include public activity. Now we are reconnected. Okay, include public activity. And now let's see what's next. So we must add these migrations. So Rails generate public activity migration. Let's see what it gives us. Okay, so it's creating an activities table, and basically it's going to be a table where we're going to track each activity ever taken in the application. So there is an owner column, meaning that here we can have the current user, for example. In trackable, we are going to have the course or the lesson or whatever is being tracked when we are creating an activity. The key is going to be create, update, delete, or whatever we want. And parameters will be anything else we'd like to add on top. So let's migrate this, rake db migrate. Okay, we've created this migration. Now let's try to create a course and see if it gets saved. Okay, Rails server. So course with public activity and we've created it. Now let's see if there was a public activity created. So we'll go to our console. No, not server, but Rails console. And we're going to count the activities that we've got. Okay, we don't have any activities yet. Let's see why. It is because I forgot to include this tracked feature. So let's go to course and also add tracked. Let's edit this course and see if we track it. So we will start on the terminal. We are going to Ruby gems, Rails server. So we added this, and let's see if there was an activity created. So we see that an activity was created. Now we'd like to display all the activities that we've got. So we are going to our home controller, and we're going to add one more view. So here we're going to have public activity all, and these are going to be activities. Okay, now we're going to create a view for it. It's going to be activity, not activities. Okay, next we need to add a root for this. So roots, and we're going to get home activity, and let's add it to our header. So we're going to have activity auth, activity, here we'll have a bell, and here activity. Let's see if it worked. Okay, there is no such path as activity path. Let's see the rules that we've got. Roots, home activity path, that's what it is. So home activity path and home activity path. Okay, we are refreshing, we see activity, and we don't have anything here because our view is still empty. Let's go to our view. So Here we're going to add activities. Each activity. Okay, and here we'll have activity dot id. Let's see if it shows us anything. Okay, we have an activity with id 1. Here we'll have something like header activity. Okay, so we have an activity with an id 1. Let's add something else like an activity. Which other fields do we have? Let's see. Okay, activity trackable. So we have trackable type and trackable ID. Let's see. Okay. Then we have the owner field. We have the key. Let's add the key. So we see that the code 63 was updated. Let's add parameters, if there are any. And let's add an owner. Okay, no owner yet. So now we can display activities. Now let's make it so that an activity belongs to the current user, so that we know that the current user did this activity. For this, we are now going to go back to the course and modify this tracked slightly like this. So instead of just tracked, we're going to have tracked owner, and we're going to find the current user from the controller. So if we try once again, we're going to our courses. We take a course, for example, the one that we just edited last. Save it once again. Okay, we don't have a current user. Let's see why. Most likely because we have one activity without a current user and the other with. And referring to the documentation, I actually understood that the problem was because we didn't include this public activity store controller in our application controller for this to work properly. So we go to our application controller. We're going to add this public activity store controller. And we're going to run it once again. Okay, let's see our activity, and we see that the second activity was created by this user. Looks nice. So let's just make it look a bit better. Okay, so each activity is in a separate row. Now to make it look nicer, we're going to add something like this. So link to the activity trackable. So we'll have a link to this course. Okay. Looks not too bad now. So in this lesson, we learned how to add the public activity gem, and we save each activity done by any user in the application. Each create, edit, or delete for the courses specifically in this lesson.